Everybody ready? Good. Then let's get going. Well, hello everyone. A very warm welcome back. It has been one of those mornings. What is it we'd say? It's all gone a bit Pete Tong. Or, I thought we were in one of those Lemony Snicket books and movies for a while. What's the latest one? A series of unfortunate events. And how did this series of unfortunate events start? Well, we woke up this morning to a power cut and snow on the ground, so that was the first thing. My darling husband, who's coming with us on this trip, managed to snap his tooth a couple of days ago, so we had to wait to call the dentist as soon as they opened to see if they could see him today or whether we'd have to come back early. And we're coming back early, so we're just going for a couple of days. And as the barbecue and bikes and so on finally getting loaded, it was the last thing to load up, Adam's bike tyre just randomly exploded when Mike was trying to swap the gas regulators. So that was a bit of a shock all round. So I'm hoping nothing else happens. I'm wondering this morning whether the universe is really trying to tell me something. Anyway, we are now on the road and on the way. And we're on the way to Setthorns, which is a camping in the forest club site. And I guess we'll come back to you when we get there. Oh! And that's just typical. Right, let's hope the rest of the journey is incident free. We'll see you when we get there. Well, thankfully we have made it without any more incidents. And in fact I have got towing mirrors on, unlike this Volvo in front of us. Anyway, the queue to get in is not bad. There's just a few caravans in front of us earlier on, and now it's just that Volvo and us. And then we'll be able to check in, but we're a good 3 or 4 hours later than I wanted to be. There was actually 2 power cuts this morning, so once when we woke up and once a couple of hours later. So I had to run around checking that it wasn't the caravan heating that was causing the problem, because I'd put the heating on 24 hours ago and the fridge on as well, so that the caravan could warm up and the fridge could cool down, and that was the only thing that was really different. So it was a bit perplexing for a while as to exactly what was going on with the power. So there was no rush to leave the house because we wanted to make sure everything was stable, so that we didn't come back to a defrosted house fridge. So hopefully that will be all okay. Anyway, we need to check in and then we'll go and find a little spot. Now, I hope the footage is coming out okay, because I'm actually recording this with the dash cam, because I'm running a little experiment in the caravan. So I've got the dash cam that usually sits in the rear window of this T6 Transporter Caravelle that I use as the tow car. And I've also got the GoPro set up there, so there's 2 cameras right next to each other. Because what I want to see is whether we can use either of those as a temporary reversing camera and dash cam. But I did try and buy a proper caravan reversing camera system before, but it was just so huge. I mean, the camera on it was massive, so it wasn't at all very subtle. So I thought I would check out what we had already and see whether it was possible to use that. Of course, the image is flipped, so that makes it completely unsafe to use normally, but today's test is all about, can we actually maintain the connection, and then if so, I'll see if there's some software that can flip the image properly and safely. Anyway, I'll report back about that in a separate video, but for today, all the images that you'll hopefully be seeing now are coming off of a Garmin 66W front dash cam in the bus itself. So anyway, let's go and find our spot. So I've booked a pitch up here at the far end of the site, which is the area known as the Select Pitches, very posh sounding. So apparently this is a larger pitch in a preferable part of the site, and one gets a picnic table. Now, we were up in this area the first time we came to Setthorns. This is our second time here. But last time was a bit of a stressful experience, because driving around here you couldn't tell where the roads were, because the road was just soil and a bit of gravel, so it's exactly the same colour as the pitches and the spaces in between the trees. So for new folding camper owners that we were at the time, it was incredibly stressful, because there were people everywhere and kids everywhere on bikes. It was bank holiday weekend, and you couldn't see the road. You didn't know which bit was a roundabout or which bit was a straight road through, so it was impossible to find a spot, and I think we were searching for the only one that happened to be left at that point in time. So I'm really pleased to see they've put some more yellow shingly stuff down here to mark out the roads. This is so much better. Now this little spot here on the right looks okay. So let's get pitched up. Now this is an absolutely enormous site, something like 250 pitches. So we'll get all set up and then I'll take you on a little tour later on. Okay, so we're all set up and there's 4 of us here, so it's a pretty quick job actually, because I just left the males in charge of putting up the awning, so that's the hammering in the background. And I was feeling guilty for carrying so much stuff around and thought I'd have to admit it to the Wobble Boxers challenge of the 8-question challenge. And then I managed to deploy my service pitch water hose, so I'm feeling very smug indeed. However, I have forgotten both toilet roll and the ground sheet pegs, which are sat on my desk back in my office. So we are now off to the shops to get some of those things. Anyway, Mike's coming with me. Boys are old enough to leave on their own here for a few minutes now, which is a godsend, I can tell you. So we're going to go and grab those couple of things, and Mike's going to be cameraman with the camera out through the sunroof here on a very long selfie stick. Don't worry, he's sat in his seat with his seatbelt on, and I'll just give you a quick overview of the road down towards the reception. It's going to take us 4 or 5 minutes to get there, and then we'll head into Sway, where it's been recommended that we pop into the Co-op, which apparently has a very good selection for a small village shop. And then tomorrow I'll put the camera on the car again and we'll go for a drive around the site, because as I said, this is an absolutely enormous site. It's 250 pitches, I think. And I'm feeling pretty nosy actually, because I've always paid to come up into this select part, but what I want to know is that money well spent? So what are the other areas like? Because there are both hard-standing electric pitches and some grassy areas and some non-hookup, non-electric, non-anything pitches as well. So we'll go and check those out tomorrow. Anyway, for now, let's go down through the site and onto the Sway Co-op. Isn't it? The campsite manager said there was only about 5 spaces, but luckily it's before 6 o'clock and there's a pandemic going on, so it looks like parking is just fine. Anyway, I'll grab some stuff, be back in a sec. Alright, stuff procured and potential toilet paper disaster averted, and the board game Catan is on the cards for tonight, so I will see you tomorrow for a tour around the site. So here's the map of the site itself. Now, one of the things that quite annoys me about camping and caravanning club sites, and indeed these camping in the forest sites, is that these maps are not available online. So you just get them when you turn up sometimes, or in most cases you just get allocated to a pitch and you've no idea what's where. That's one of the things I really enjoy about the caravan club, the fact that you can see the map, you can see where all the pitches are, and for those of us with a door on the wrong side, it's very helpful because we can work out which are row ends, for example, that we can park normally with the nose facing the road and not cause anybody trauma by having our awning pointing at their awning. Okay, so we've just made it back up to reception here on the right. It's taken me about 5 minutes to get down to this beginning of the site from where we're pitched up at the top in the select pitches. Only doing 5 miles an hour though, obviously, but it's quite a distance. So we'll just take the little areas in turn. So this is the brow. First bit on the left, so it's a lot more open. This first bit anyway. Through the middle. Ooh, there's a nice pitch there that unicorn's on. That looks like a seasonal because it's more white. Right, let's go and have a look in Setthorns motorhome service point down here. There's the motorhome point straight in front of us. Let's go and do around the circle. So that's the pedestrian crossing if you're over 5 tonnes. That's locked though. Presumably getting the key up at reception. Across the bridge. So there's a 5-tonne limit on this bridge. So if you're over that, you need to go and get a key to go across down that bit that we've just been to. Let's try open bottom, standard and electric pitches. So this is the other side of that walking track. Now. Looks like all electric pitches down there to the right. Electric on the left, electrics on the right. Little Nova up there. Prime position overlooking everywhere. That's the walking track. You can see the walkers going down onto the left. That is a nice little spot round there. Good choice, Nova owner. So there's the other side of the crossing if you're over 5 tonnes. This apparently is grass, so that must be grass with electric. So there's tents in that bit there. So this is all just standard pitches in here, no electric. Nice pitches though. Set amongst the trees, if you like that sort of thing. And somewhere a bit more open, it'd be a nightmare. Lots and lots horseshoe. Let's go left and go around the rest of the pine tops. So more recycling up here, that's good. Oh, it's an Aribo, that blow up awning. Oh, nice lamp. Very nice. Into select pictures at high top. So these are all electric. Each is a bit bigger than normal. Although of course this is camping caravan and club standard, so it's not that big pitch anyway. A picnic table, although of course it can get quite mucky out under the trees all year, so whether or not you want to use the picnic table is another matter. I'll go around all of them, so lots and lots of little alcoves, and a lot of people sat outside. So you can see it's the same sort of thing all the way around. So I just came out to film the ending, and look who should appear. Yeah, aren't they great? There's another little baby around the back as well. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed looking around the site. So as I said, the last time we came here, it was a bit of a stressful, slightly hellish experience, because although the site is fabulous, you know, it was absolutely heaving when we arrived. And because the roads weren't very clearly marked out, there was just dead leaves and grass and stuff on the ground, it was impossible to tell where the roundabouts were. So as we were trying to manoeuvre the trailer around amongst little kids everywhere on bikes, and people sat out, it was a bank holiday weekend, everybody was trying to enjoy themselves, starting early. But of course we couldn't tell where we could go and where we couldn't go, and what was a road and what was a pitch. It was a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, it seems vastly improved this time, and we had a lovely warm welcome at reception, unlike last time. So it's been an altogether more pleasant experience so far. Anyway, I hope looking around the site was helpful for you. Do give us a thumbs up if it was, and then join us in the next video when I'll compile some of the clips of the walks we've been doing. We've just been having an easy holiday, you know, not going very far, not doing very much, just a couple of little walks, and I'll put that together into a video to give you some ideas of what you can do around here. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, thanks for your company, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. So, bye for now. Leo deer with antlers.